Most captains in Bleach reach their position after centuries of experience. They spend the decades mastering their abilities, learning how to fight, and gradually earning the trust required to lead a division in the Gotei 13. Leadership in the Soul Society is usually the result of time and discipline. Tōshirō Hitsugaya represents a different path. When he first appeared in the story, Hitsugaya is already the captain of Squad 10. He is younger than nearly every other captain, yet holds the same authority and responsibility as warriors who have lived for thousands of years. His control over ice, his connection to the dragon Hyōrinmaru, and his natural talent as a fighter quickly earned him a reputation as one of the greatest prodigies in the Soul Society. But talent alone does not explain his story. Hitsugaya's position forces him to grow up quickly. While other captains develop their strength over centuries, he was placed into leadership while still very young. His journey is not just about power, it is about the pressure that comes with being called a genius. The early life of Tōshirō begins far from the structure of the Gotei 13. Before becoming a captain, he lived in the Rokugai district of the Soul Society, where his usually high spiritual pressure was already noticeable. Even as a child, the intensity of his power affected the environment around him, freezing objects unintentionally while he was sleeping. At the time, he did not fully understand what his power meant. His potential became clear when he encountered Rengoku, who recognized that the source of this strange phenomena was his connection to the Zanpakutō spirit, Hyōrinmaru. She encouraged him to enter the Soul Reaper Academy, where his abilities quickly distinguished him from other students. Hitsugaya progressed through the academy far faster than most recruits. His control over ice-based abilities, combined with his natural intelligence and discipline, allowed him to advance rapidly through the ranks of the Soul Society. Eventually, he achieved something almost unheard of for his age. He was appointed captain of Squad 10. This promotion immediately set him apart from other captains. While they had centuries of experience behind them, Hitsugaya entered the role of a prodigy still developing his abilities. From the beginning, his position placed him in a difficult situation. He was not only expected to grow stronger, he was expected to lead. Becoming a captain at such a young age placed Hitsugaya in a position very few characters in Bleach ever experience. While other captains spent centuries to develop their leadership style, Hitsugaya had to grow into the role almost immediately. From the moment he took command of Squad 10, he carried the same responsibilities as every other division leader in the Gotei 13. This meant overseeing missions, maintaining discipline within his division, and protecting the Soul Society during major conflicts. Despite his age, he was expected to make decisions that could affect the lives of his subordinates and the outcome of battles. His relationship with Rengoku highlights his pressure clearly. As his lieutenant, Rengoku often brings a relaxed and sometimes irresponsible attitude to the division. Hitsugaya frequently finds himself acting as a more serious and disciplined presence, maintaining order while also managing her behavior. In many ways, the dynamic shows how quickly he was forced to mature. What stands out about Hitsugaya is how seriously he takes his responsibilities. He approaches leadership with caution and discipline, rarely allowing emotion to influence his decisions during battle. This mindset reveals something important about his character. Despite being called a prodigy, Hitsugaya understands that talent alone is not enough to carry the responsibility of a captain. A larger part of Tōshirō's reputation as a prodigy comes from his connection with the Zanpakutō Hyōrinmaru. Hyōrinmaru is known as the most powerful ice-type Zanpakutō in the Soul Society. Its abilities allow Hitsugaya to control ice and water on a massive scale, freezing the battlefield and shaping the environment during combat. In its Shikai form, Hyōrinmaru manifests as a massive ice dragon that forms behind Hitsugaya as he fights. The technique allows him to create ice structure, freezing opponents instantly and manipulate water in the atmosphere to extend its range. Even early in the series, this ability places him among the most dangerous captains in the Gotei 13. However, the most important part of Hitsugaya's power is his Bankai, Hyōrinmaru. When activated, ice wings and a dragon-like structure form around him, dramatically increasing the scale of his freezing abilities. The transformation allows him to create enormous ice formations capable of immobilizing powerful enemies. Yet Bleach repeatedly suggests that his Bankai is incomplete. Because Hitsugaya achieves Bankai at such a young age, he had not fully matured into its true power. This limitation becomes clearer during the Thousand Year Blood War, when his abilities evolve and reveal a far greater potential. Hyōrinmaru therefore represents more than just strength. It reflects Hitsugaya's central theme, a prodigy whose true power is still developing. Across the story of Bleach, the development of Toshiro can be seen clearly through the major arcs of the series. Each stage of the story shows a different level of maturity in both his abilities and his leadership. During the Soul Society arc, Hitsugaya is introduced as a disciplined but still developing captain. His intelligence and seriousness stands out immediately, especially compared to the other more unpredictable personalities among the Gotei 13. At this stage, his strength is evident, but his experience is still limited. Much of his fighting relies on the scale of his ice abilities and the raw power of Hyōrinmaru. By the time of the Arrancar arc, Hitsugaya begins to demonstrate far greater control over his abilities. His battles against powerful enemies force him to think more strategically, balancing offense and defense while protecting those around him. Instead of relying only on overwhelming power, he begins to approach combat with greater patience. The Thousand Year Blood War arc represents the clearest stage of his growth. Here, Hitsugaya's power evolves significantly and his connection to Hyōrinmaru deepens. His Bankai develops beyond its earlier limitations, revealing a far more complete version of his abilities. More importantly, his presence in battle becomes far more confident and composed. Across these arcs, Hitsugaya transforms from a talented young captain into a far more refined warrior. His power becomes more controlled, his decisions more deliberate, and his presence on the battlefield far more dangerous. Throughout Bleach, Tōshirō Hitsugaya is repeatedly described as a prodigy. His rapid rise through the Soul Reaper ranks, his early mastery of Hyōrinmaru, and his appointment as the youngest captain in the history of the Gotei 13 all reinforce that reputation. From the outside, it would be easy to see his story as one built on purely natural talent, but the series gradually shows that his journey is about something deeper. Hitsugaya's development is shaped by the responsibilities placed on him long before most Soul Reapers would ever face them. As a captain, he is responsible for not only his own strength, but for the safety and discipline of his entire division. Every decision he makes carries consequences for the people who serve under him. Because of this, his character is defined less by brilliance and more by discipline. These traits show that the title of prodigy is not simply about having extraordinary power. It is about learning to carry that power responsibly. His story ultimately suggests that genius is not just ability, it is the burden of expectation and the long process of growing strong enough to meet them.